The City Council regular meeting to order on Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018. This time we'd like to invite Pastor Steve Adamson from the Maricopa Community Church to please come forward. Please press that little button so the green light comes on that microphone. If you'd all please rise, we're going to have an invocation by Pastor Adamson, after which Councilmember Brown will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
Hi. I was invited to pray at the City Council meeting of incorporation in 2003, about almost 15 years ago now. I just want to thank you for inviting me back again and again to pray, and on behalf of the other ministers, we just really appreciate just giving us the feeling that we're putting this in the hands of the Lord. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, almost 15 years ago, we called upon heaven for your help, and you have been gracious to help our city servants with crime prevention and by raising up volunteers to alleviate hunger and help with utility bills in cases of emergency. You've provided for a variety of educational choices and allowed us to enjoy religious liberty here, to worship you in spirit and in truth. It's only fitting that we give you thanks tonight for bringing us this far by faith, for raising up leaders in civil services and infrastructure and the housing and the places of business we have, many local churches to meet our physical and spiritual needs. Your patience and kindness to us as a new community has been wonderful. And so, as we gladly face typical growing pains, please give our citizens and our leaders and our planners and our peace officers wisdom and courage, protection, grace to do justice with mercy from the Lord. Give them energy and creativity while keeping the level of personal conflicts low. Please give amiable solutions in cases when there are power struggles, while fostering the free exchange of ideas. Pour into our city the love and grace that are found in your Son, and forgive us our sins, and just as importantly, help us to forgive those who sin against us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Adamson. We appreciate it. That'll take us to the roll call, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Here.
Councilmember Gussie?
Here.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Wade?
Here.
Vice Mayor Chapados? Mayor Price?
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Great, thank you very much. Again, as I said earlier in the work session, we'd like to excuse Vice Mayor Chapados. She had a family emergency. She had to fly to New York to be with her family at this time. At this time, I'd like to move to item 3 on the agenda, which is our Proclamations, Acknowledgments, and Awards. The first one is a domestic violence one. And so we'd like to invite Against Abuse, the Agnes Center for Domestic Violence, the Zonta Club, and Hope Women's Center. If you're here representing one of those agencies, would you please come forward? Well, thank you for being here this evening. We're thankful for all you being up here and everyone in the audience this evening. I have a proclamation for you all. It says, whereas domestic violence is prevalent throughout the region and more than 90 people lost their lives due to domestic violence in Arizona in 2017, with at least 53 deaths occurring within the Maricopa Association of Governments region, which we are a part of. Whereas every 44 minutes in Arizona, one or more children witness domestic violence, and up to 60% of perpetrators or intimate partner violence also abuse their children, according to an Arizona Department of Health Services report. Whereas the trauma and suffering caused by domestic violence destroys families, threatens the safety of neighborhoods, and weakens the abilities of communities to thrive. And the City of Maricopa works collaboratively with community agencies to effectively address, prevent, and eradicate domestic violence. And whereas the City of Maricopa is dedicated to ensuring the safety of domestic violence survivors and holding abusers accountable, and now therefore I, Christian Price, Mayor of the City of Maricopa, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2018 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Maricopa. And that is dated the second day of October 2018. Again, thank you very much for your partnerships and all you do for us. We appreciate it. Is Kazi here? Kazi here? There's, Rudy's up. Kazi got to go home early, didn't he? Lucky guy. All right, we have another proclamation this evening, and Rudy is going to accept on behalf of our Development Services group here at the city. And I want to read this to you today. It says, change is constant and affects all cities, towns, suburbs, counties, and boroughs, townships, rural areas, and other places. And whereas community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work and live, and whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be meaningful involved and making choices that determine the future of their community, and whereas the full benefit of planning requires public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in planning and plan implementation. And whereas the month of October is designated as the National Community Planning Month throughout the United States of America and in its territories. And whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorsed National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight and contribute sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our settlements and environment. And whereas the celebration of National Community Planning Month gives us the opportunity to publicly recognize the participation and dedication of the members of the planning commissions and other citizen planners who have contributed their time and expertise to the improvement of the City of Maricopa. And whereas we recognize the many valuable contributions made by professional community and regional planners of the City of Maricopa and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals. And whereas in an effort to provide long-term guidelines for growth, Planning Maricopa, Shaping Our Community, the 2016 City of Maricopa General Plan Update was adopted by the City Council in May of 2016 and was voted on by the citizens of Maricopa in the general election of November 2016 as well. And therefore, now I, Christian Price, Mayor of the City of Maricopa, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2018 as Community Planning Month in the City of Maricopa in conjunction with the celebration of National Community Planning Month. So this is dated this day, the 2nd of October, and we are thankful to all of those who are both in our planning division as well as those who sit on our planning and zoning commissions, Board of Adjustments, and all the other commissions that go into planning a well-founded city. So again, congratulations to our planning division. How long can you hold that smile? Thank you. again, thank you very much for participating this evening in these proclamations. At this time, it takes us to a report from the mayor. There's a couple things that I have to report just briefly, but I wanted to give a few minutes on behalf of Councilmember Wade and others in the community. We have a very special young man here who has had the opportunity to travel from Maricopa and go to D.C. and spend some time in D.C. as an intern on the Hill. And so we wanted to hear from him for just a minute or two. And so I'd like to invite up Jeremy Lee. Jeremy, come on up and tell us just very briefly about your experience.
Thank you. I would like to also thank Mayor Price and the council members. I also would like to thank Maricopa. You may ask why. It's a very long explanation, but I'll get straight to the point. About 3 months ago, I was vice president and I was finishing up getting my associates, and a dean came to me and he was like, yo, you've been doing good. I have this opportunity for you. I feel like this can take you far. You've been very serious lately for politics. So I took him up on this offer, and this started up my race to go to DC. See, going to DC wasn't that easy. I had to raise a lot of money, about $7,000 to be exact. But with some scholarship and some people help involved in Maricopa, it went by pretty good. But it's tons of things that I learned in DC. Rather, it was from seeing a homeless person on the street give me the best knowledge I ever heard in my life to walking at the Lincoln Memorial at 12 a.m. It was all something that was so real and hard to take in all at once. Sometimes I was so tired doing so many things. I was like, whoa, am I even here right now? But it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, and I truly, truly thank Maricopa. Just to go in and explain who I am just a little bit, my name is Jeremy Lee. I'm currently going to Arizona State University, and my bachelor is organizational leadership, and in hopes to go into law. So that is my goal. That's kind of what started my chase to go into politics anyway. It started a simple love for law, and I ended up starting a nonpartisan program. So that kind of set forth a little more, and it got me a little more interested. I would like to give a couple of thanks really quick. 4 years ago, I moved to Maricopa, and I met Mark as well as Mayor Price, and some of you as well up there. Hey, how you doing? And it's been a long, long journey. It's been a long journey, but I've learned a lot. But I would like to thank all of you. I would like to also thank my aunt. I would also like to thank Vincent Manfredi up there specifically, as well as you all for contributing to my donations. Once again, thank you, Maricopa. It's so many faces that I can thank in this congregation or this audience right now, but you know, I don't want to leave anybody out, but truly thank you. I want to end on this note. Everybody strives to do something in life, and half of us either fall short or we go all the way. And to go all the way, sometimes you need a village. I believe we all heard that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, I appreciate you helping me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate all you're doing to represent the great city of Maricopa and D.C., and we know you'll do a great job and you'll go really far in this life, so thank you. Just very briefly here, I also had the opportunity to attend a variety of things. I'm just going to list a couple of them here. Happened to spend most of the day here this last week at a conference called the ULI AZ TAP, and basically it's an economic development overview of kind of what we could do with this city center area. It was very interesting to have a very selective panel from very knowledgeable individuals from all different backgrounds, commercial development, law, etc. And it was a wonderful opportunity in which we got to hear their ideas for what this area could be. We've had a charrette on the issue. We have some concepts and designs, but it also took a lot more detail from a planning perspective on what they expect and what when they go into plan an area, what they look to do and accomplish. So it was I felt like it gave us a very broad-based overview of what's transpiring in this area, what are our challenges, some things we know already and the council has been dealing with, but other things was very enlightening. And so again, I think it was time well spent. Also had the the opportunity to meet with the Western Pinal County mayors. That's always an opportunity in which we can derive new information from what other locations and cities are doing instead of reinventing the wheel, and so I think it's a time well spent. And then last but not least here, I just wanted to remind you that the State of the City address is coming up on Wednesday, October 24th. That's at the end of this month. If you'd like to attend, it'll be here in these chambers. We'd love to have you here. We just need you to RSVP so we can get an idea of what we need in the way of food and expectation of how many people are coming. So we like to have a lot of fun with those, and so we'll hope you'll show up and learn something along the way about what your city's up to and what we've been up to and where we're going into the near future. So again, that concludes the report from the mayor at this time, and that will skip over the report from the city manager, as he informed me that he doesn't have anything to address at this time. That takes us to call to the public. I do have a few public comment cards. I would like to go to those first, after which, once I've gone through all of those, the podium is yours, and we welcome you to approach it and tell us what's on your mind. You each have about 3 minutes to address us. Please note that whatever you bring up, we love hearing it, we love listening to it. We just can't address it as a council at this time because it's not agendized, but we do want to make sure that city staff get with you, and we'll be happy to chat with you afterwards after the meeting as well. So first on the list is Mr. Chris Cahill. Please come forward.
Thanks a lot. Good evening, council members, city staff, and members of our community. I'm a business owner here in Maricopa, and I truly believe in our city and the future growth that we have ahead. A couple of weeks ago, Rick was at a Chamber of Commerce breakfast, and he mentioned something during his talk that he had forgot to bring that morning. Now, I'm not sure if that morning it was too heavy or if it doesn't actually exist, but from the latest In Maricopa article, the work that he's continuing to do, partnering with all of our staff, continuing to work hard on streamlining processes, making changes internally, and empowering everyone. Myself, my agency staff, and the people I'm close to personally love what he's doing, and we wanted to make sure that Rick had all the tools in order to get his job done. So I made a smaller, portable, golden sledgehammer because that morning you mentioned that you had left your golden sledgehammer at home. And I wanted to say, keep up the good work. Thanks for all everyone does with the city of Maricopa, and I wanted to present that to you tonight.
Thank you, Chris. I'm sure he will put that to good use. We'll keep you updated. All right, Dr. Tracy Lopman, please come forward, our school superintendent.
Thank you, Mayor Price, council members. My name is Tracy Lopman, and I have the honor of serving as the superintendent of Maricopa Unified School District. Tonight I'm here with one of my board members, Tori Anderson, to express my gratitude for the presence and support of the Maricopa Unified School District. I'm here on behalf of the board, the 7,200 students, and the over 700 staff members. Over the past few months, each of you have been present at a variety of events, adding emphasis to the importance of each occasion. Mayor Price, thank you for attending our strategic planning launch, where you helped articulate the Maricopa why and helped us craft our vision for the future. Just recently, we hosted our first partner breakfast. Council members Wade, Gussie, Brown, and Vice Mayor Chapados were all there to experience the pomp and circumstance brought by the Air Force Junior ROTC, and enjoy a breakfast prepared by the culinary students. The week before, Councilmember Smith was at the CTE Community Night in our culinary classroom and enjoyed dinner as well, and we appreciate your support. Am I over? Is
Go
that
ahead.
3 minutes?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's all good, I promise.
You're all good.
I can even go back to our July grand opening of the school year at the Performing Arts Center, and council members Manfredi and Brown and Vice Mayor Chapados were there too. Finally, I have to single out 2 other individuals. Police Chief Stahl has extended a hands-on partnership in the safety of our schools. He has sent Sergeant Kuzier to attend our strategic planning launch. When we call, they pick up. And finally, I absolutely have to single out Mr. Rick Horst, our city manager. He has attended board meetings, our strategic planning launch. Mr. Horst and Nathan Ulliott, the Director of Community Services, toured the high school with me and some very accomplished young men and women. And Rick was at the partner breakfast too. You know, we invite the whole world to everything that we do. And people are busy, I believe me, I know. So it's impossible to make everything that you're asked to attend. But you, the leadership of the city of Maricopa, have shown up with uncommon consistency, and it's noted. And it's not only by me and the board, but most importantly, your presence is noted and appreciated by the students and staff and the entire MUSD community. Thank you for being there.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Lopeman. I appreciate it. And then also forgot to mention that I was also invited to speak, I think, to the first graders at Butterfield the other day. They got tough questions. You got to watch out for those first graders. Whew. All right. Thank you again. Appreciate that. It's always a fun time. Andre Lafon.
Thank you, Mayor Price. Thank you, City Council members. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andre Lafond. I am a candidate for constable here in Maricopa Stanfield Justice Precinct 4. And I just want to remind everyone that this Saturday, starting at 10 a.m., is the In Maricopa Town Hall. It's a political forum where you will be able to answer or ask questions, and we'll answer them for you. Have your questions for your local candidates. Have your questions for your state and county candidates. We're all going to be there. The list is online, so please come on down. We look forward to seeing you. We look forward to answering your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. Appreciate it. I'd like to please call up Judith Zamont.
Mayor Price, City Council members, officials, and neighbors. I'm here tonight on behalf of Maricopa Arts Council. MAC promotes all our city's arts as the high-quality jewels they really are in Maricopa's crown. And now our art season is heating up. There are 4 upcoming events everybody should know about. They include poetry, theater, visual arts, and music, and all will be held at various locations around the city. Starting from the far end, we have the visual arts. November 17th and 18th brings the Fall Studio Crawl, featuring drive-yourself visits to studios of 9 varied artists and artisans around the city. This event is free, so look for your maps coming out pretty soon. Earlier than that, at the beginning of November, is Maricopa Music Circle's Autumn Musicale, which will be on a Sunday afternoon, November 4th. This is a free concert, and it is both a performance and a fundraiser for the city's premier music ensemble. It sheds spotlights on the individual musicians of Maricopa Music Circle, plus offering a silent auction of fine art works. Even earlier, Maricopa Community Theater offers 5 performances of the great musical Cabaret from October 10th through the 13th. This is an edgy Third Reich-themed stage piece, and it's directed by Carrie Vargas. Performances will be at Leading Edge Academy, ticket prices from $12 to $17. And coming up this very Saturday night, October 6th, the All Maricopa Poetry Slam takes place at Honeycut Coffee. This is a wildly popular competition event returning for its 3rd year. The slam features any Maricopa poet from high school age on up, performing their own poetry, and the poets register at 5:45. Competition begins 6:30. No costumes, no music, no scenery. These are national slam rules. Just fiery, wrenching words that show the inner artist to the whole world. The audience gets to judge, and competition is usually fierce. Tickets are only $5, so think about being at Honeycut Coffee this Saturday by 6 p.m. for a refreshment on your own and then to get a good seat. The Arts Council believes Maricopa is rich in talent and that we all have the artistic impulse in our souls. MAC invites you to sample our city's talents this weekend for poetry, the following weekend for theater, and after Stagecoach Days for music and visual arts. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Appreciate it. And of course, all of those events are wonderful, but the Poetry Slam is especially fun. I even remember that the Vice Mayor read a poem at the very first one, and it was very impressive. So if you've never been, it's definitely worth going. So thank you, Judith, for all you do for the arts. Also, I'd like to invite up Tori Anderson at this time.
Mayor Price, Council, Tori Anderson, Maricopa, Arizona. I want to take this opportunity to thank the city for the last 15 years acknowledging and bringing to light the National Domestic Violence Month and declaring it in our city. I do remember the first time, it was just, a couple years ago. And of course, none of us got any older, so we're all good. But I do want to thank you because it is important. And I know that you have many, many causes that you could highlight, and I really, truly, from my heart, appreciate you taking time to acknowledge this in our city and to continue to acknowledge it and to bring to light the services that are available to all citizens. So I wanted to say that. And then on a happy note, I want to remind everybody that all these services do cost, but not to our survivors or our victims. And one of our fundraisers we do is the Taste of Casa Grande. It's an amazing Sunday afternoon from 1 to 4. It's October 21st. All of the funds raised support our people and our programs. And it's important. So if you want to come with an empty belly and be able to taste over 35 different restaurants, that's the time to do it. Tickets are $45. You can go to againstabuse.org to purchase, or you can purchase them from me. You know how to get a hold of me. But I just wanted to thank you. This year we have Adam Allison, which was the Chopped champion a few years ago. So he's going to be at this event this year. So it really is worth the money to be able to come and see his demonstrations and kind of visit and see what he's got going on. So that's exciting that we've added that this year. But I do want to remind you, it's in Casa Grande, it's at Ava's Restaurant, and it's a great time. It's from 1 to 4, and it's just a fun time to come and contribute to something that's local. So thank you, and again, thank you, Mayor Price and City Council, for continuing to acknowledge Domestic Violence Awareness Month and supporting against abuse in all of our efforts. So thank you.
Thank you, Tori. Appreciate it. Those are all the speaker cards I have at this time. If anyone else would like to approach the podium, may you do so. Okay, seeing no one, we'll go ahead and close the call to the public at this time and move on to the regular city council meeting agenda. As we get to item 7, which is the minutes, we have items 7.1 and 7.2. Council, is there a motion on these minutes?
So move.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. And a second. Any further discussion on these minutes at this time? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. This time we move into section 8 and 8.1, which is a public hearing. The mayor and city council shall hear public comments on rezoning request. This is case number ZON 18-01, a request by Mountain Trace Development LLC to rezone 5.3 acres of land from the existing zone district, light industrial zone CI 1, PAD former zoning code, to general mixed use or MU-G as identified in the current zoning code. Rudy, take it away.
Mayor, council members, as part of the city's zoning code for any rezoning requests, the applicant has gone above and beyond for additional public hearing as required by city code. This item is on your regular agenda under 10.6. We ask that you open up the public hearing for any comments, concerns, or questions.
Perfect. Is there any comments or questions from the audience at this time on 8.1? If so, you're welcome to approach the podium and tell us. Again, this item is for this item and this item only. Seeing none, we will go ahead and close the public hearing at this time and move on to item 9, which is the consent agenda. Council, is there a motion to approve item 9.1 through 9.10 at this time?
So moved, Mayor.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none at this time, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. And I'll take us to the regular city council meeting agenda, item 10.1. Item 10.1 is the mayor and city council to discuss and possibly take action on appointing members to the 2018-2019 City of Maricopa Youth Council. This is for discussion action. Heather, time is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're actually thrilled to be up this early in the agenda. The last couple terms, I feel like we were here till almost 9 o'clock with you all. But tonight,
that's because we're pushing your bedtime limits. That's why.
Totally my bedtime limits. Tonight, I present to you some of the 13 applicants for the 2018-2019. I don't know how to switch that. 2018-2019 Maricopa Youth Council. 6 of them are returning applicants through recruitment. We have 7 new ones, and I just found out today we may have 2 more.
Great.
So this year we're excited to host our fourth youth town hall. We want to plan and host a student government day, as well as volunteer at the city community events and continue building mentorships with city council members. May I suggest that at this time that we appoint all 13 applicants?
Okay. Thank you. Council, do you have questions or concerns on this at this time? Anyone? Nope. All right. There is a proposal. So therefore, is there a motion? Have a motion and a second and a third. So we'll just keep on going down. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations and welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, can we do a picture, please?
I just wanted to make a comment. It is so neat to see some of these young faces. I've known a couple of you for many, many years, and I saw you when you all were very little, 5 years old or so. That's when I first met you all. And it's so exciting to see you all here and take a role of leadership within our youth. Thank you very much for committing to do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Absolutely. Come on down. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. That takes us to item 10.2, resolution of the mayor and city council, city of Maricopa, declaring as a public record that certain documents have been filed with the city clerk and entitled Chapter 3 Administration Revised 2018 of the Maricopa City Code relating to the update of rules and procedures relating to city administration and amending the Maricopa City Code by repealing Chapter 3 of the previously adopted city code and replacing that with sections 3-1 through 3-282. This is for discussion and action. Brenda, take it away.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the council. This resolution is a revision to the existing city code, declaring as a public record Chapter 3 Administration Revised 2018, updating sections of Chapter 3. The goals of the code revision are update acting city manager appointment, modify the contracting and signature authority of the city manager and department directors, and modifying purchasing limits and policies for the decentralization of purchasing for the city. Changes recommended as previously requested by the mayor and city council have been incorporated as requested.
Perfect. I believe this is review from what we talked about in a previous meeting. So any further questions on this? As stated, the concerns and issues brought up by the city council this time have been incorporated. So is there any further discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. That'll take us 10.3, which is the ordinance. An ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, adopting Chapter 3 Administration Revisions 2018 by reference as revised sections 3-1 through 3-282 of the Maricopa City Code and repealing Chapter 3 of the previously adopted city code and providing for the severability and the declaring an emergency. This is for discussion and action. I don't think we need any further explanation on that. The emergency clause is just so that it goes into effect ASAP. Any further discussion on this item, which is just the subsequent code on this? Can I have a motion, please? Motion, is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Second, right there, okay. We have a first and a second. Can we move to roll call, please?
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Murphy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you very much. This is resolution, item 10.4. This is a resolution 18-23. This is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, declaring as a public record that a certain document filed with the city clerk and entitled 2018 Amendment, Chapter 7, Building Regulations of the Maricopa City Code relating to the update of rules and procedures to regulate construction and maintenance of buildings or structures within the city of Maricopa, adopting the fees related thereto, and amending the Maricopa City Code by eliminating Section 3-120 and Article 7-1 of the previously adopted city code and replacing that article with Section 7-1-1 through 7-1-13. This is for discussion and action. Take it away, Bob.
Good evening.
I love that we have to read all this. It's so great.
Yeah, no, I know. It's great. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Robert Mathias. I'm the Development Manager for the city here. And what we're proposing is that we want to adopt all of the 2018 codes. The codes we're currently using are the 2012 codes. And so what we've decided to do this year, which is a little bit different, is we're going to combine all of the building codes and the fire code into one chapter, Chapter 7. So we're going to repeal the old Chapter 7 and insert the building codes and the fire code. And at the same time, we're taking all of the fees for building, planning, engineering, and fire and putting them under one section of the code. So when you go to look for fees or go to look for codes, they're under one location, and that's what we're looking to do.
Perfect. And just as a comment, you know, I think I know the answer to this. I sat on the BFO Budget Finance Operations Committee when we reviewed all this, but you know, taking it that one step further, obviously it seems like it will make a simple efficiency for those looking from the outside at Maricopa to do business here, where they can find all that in one centrally located position. Is that the reason and rationale?
Yeah, exactly. So other than having fees in different chapters of the city code, we put them into one location. We did get the approval from the Home Builders Association to move forward.
Great.
And so one thing that they did bring up, and I'll bring up in front of you, and I don't know how we want to handle this, but when we first started this, doing the BFO, what I was used to was that we would adopt the new fees as part of the budget. but now we're adopting them now. So we were presenting them to say may go into effect January 1st. And then the codes, for example, between the adoption of the new codes and January 1st, people who come in, they could apply under either the 2012 or the 2018, because we don't know which one they've designed their buildings under. But the home builders brought up an interesting point that if we adopt the new fees January 1st, does that mean the additional fees for the following year go into effect July 1st, which would mean a 15% increase, or do we do them January 1st and then the following January 1st? That would be my recommendation, so that way they're not getting hit with a double one within 6 months.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, council, you have an issue with that? I mean, keeps it as a full year. That way it's a fair way of going about it. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it looks good to me. Perfect. Okay. With that here, any further discussion or questions on this item? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. That'll take us to item 10.5, which is the official ordinance change here. So it's ordinance 18-08. Again, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, adopting Chapter 7 building regulation as by reference as sections 7-1-1 through 7-1-13 of the Maricopa City Code, and repealing section 3-120 and article 7-1 of the Maricopa City Code, setting forth the penalties related thereto, providing for the severability and the effective date thereof. Obviously for discussion and action. This is of course the ordinance to the last one. So any further discussion? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve, please?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. With that, can we move to a roll call?
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you so much. Another ordinance, item 10.6, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, approving and adopting an amendment to the city's zoning map to zone certain property described in zoning case ZON 18-01 for approximately 5.83 acres of land generally situated at the southwest corner of the intersection of Porter Road and the Shea Way alignment within the City of Maricopa incorporated limits. The parcel of land is situated in a portion of Section 35 and a portion of Section 36 of Township 4 South, Range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Basin Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Rudy, take it away.
Mayor, council members, as mentioned earlier during the public hearing, as required for any rezoning request, this is now the action item for the zone change for the proposal. A request by Mountain Trace Development to rezone lot number 19 of the Maricopa Power Center, the Wells, specifically assessed parcel number 51012-054B. As we continuously now to implement our new zoning code, we are having, now we're seeing more change into applicants and developers utilizing, kind of putting the old zoning districts of CI1, the county zoning code, and using now the new zoning code that we established in 2014 for general mixed-use zoning. As proposed, it is a proposed multifamily development within the area, if I could.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Yeah, just real quickly, just site location. The zone change map to identify the new zoning map, the surrounding these areas is CI1 industrial. Slowly but surely, we are converting these areas as we speak to applicable zoning districts under the new zoning code. As part of the general plan identifies these areas as mixed use. So the proposal does adhere to the city zoning district of a mixed use general zoning district, achieving the goal of the city.
And the planning and zoning?
And the public comments to date, we have not received any. The applicant has met all requirements per the city standards when it comes to notifying the public. And required findings as required by the city zoning code. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall make the following findings: an amendment is consistent with the general plan, and any change in district bounds is necessary to achieve the balance of land use desired by the city per the general plan. And the recommendation that was made from the Planning and Zoning Commission was to approve the rezoning request. The applicant is here to answer any questions, but if so, I'd be happy to answer any.
Perfect. Council, questions for this applicant on this zoning change? Obviously, it was recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission to move forward with this. Any questions or concerns at this time? Okay, seeing none. With that, can I have a motion, please? Have a motion. Is there a second? And a second. Okay, that takes us to a roll call, please.
Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate the applicant being here as well. Item 10.7, also an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Maricopa, Arizona, amending section 2-76 of the city code of Maricopa to change the order of consideration and disposition of the business of council. This is for discussion and action.
Mr. Mayor,
Yep.
This is just to change our code. Our code specifically says how these meetings will occur and what occurs in what order. Tonight, as you see, we agreed to do the public hearing early on in the meeting and then just came back into the ordinance. I think what we'd like to do is change the ordinance now so that those two items could come together in the meeting. Public hearing would come first and then you vote on it right afterwards, so there's not confusion in the meeting.
Thank you. Rick and I had talked about this in one of our one-on-one meetings, just trying to improve the efficiency and flow of this meeting, as well as making things more concise for the public so that there's not a lot of bouncing around. It seems to me like it would make sense. It expedites it. It seems to me like it would make a lot of sense if it was all just in one block, and so we could move through the process more efficiently. So if anyone has any concerns or questions on that, you're welcome to ask them. Yes, Councilwoman Gussie.
Is this the only item that is identified within this change?
Yes, legal, just a further clarification on that.
That's all?
Yes, that's right. We're just combining those two parts of the code so they can occur in the same part of the meeting.
All right. All right. With that, I'm motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilmember Wade?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie?
Yes.
Councilmember Manfredi?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith? Yes. Mayor Price?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Well, that concludes our council meeting for this evening. Thank you very much for being present with us, and we will see you again here in 2 weeks. Council, can I have a motion to dismiss, please? No, we're done with executive. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. See you in 2 weeks.